I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Joey Evans.
And welcome to Board Game Smorgasbord, where we talk about board game news and other various board game sundries. And things that aren't board games, because why not?
Like no sundries. Okay, somebody's been reading the thesaurus.
I am in a fantastic mood because in less than a week we'll be at Dice Tower East.
I'm excited.
We're almost ready, but we're not ready. We got a lot of things to do today.
You got stuff to do.
But we'll get it done.
I hear you. Yeah.
But also, so if you're coming, we'll see you there. Also, we want to remind you about Dice Tower District. You want to buy and sell board games. You get a board game, you don't like it, or you're passing it on. Dice Tower District, look it up online. It's an easy, fast way to sell games back and forth to each other. It's a way to support the Dice Tower, but it's been working well. There's over, I think, 1,200 people on the site, so that's a lot of people. And it has a nice mobile app, so check that out.
Nice.
That's it for stuff that we have to talk about, I think. We should do some shout-outs.
Yes.
Kickstarter shout-outs.
Here we go. Shout-outs.
Oh, I'm excited about these. Okay.
Okay, go.
So, we want to say thank you to Ryan, Sung, Noah, and Tommy K.
Yeah.
To Will I-10, which I know is correct because he gave me the pronunciation.
Good.
To Marcus Brisman, official secretary of Sporadically Bored with Mike and Dan.
Oh, my.
So sorry, Marcus.
Salute you.
To Fernando J. Martinez. To
Fernando.
Grizzly Bean. To Adam No Good Scallywag Jones from Indianapolis.
I like that.
To Patrick Steele and all Irish board gamers. Thanks, Ireland. To James and Barry and James Orr. Thank you all for supporting the Dice Tower.
Thank you.
And if you want to support Dice Tower, I think our backer kit is still open. So you can find that at DicetowerKickstarter.com. But let's talk about some news. All right, we have a lot of games to talk about in the news today because they're starting to talk about Essen releases that will come out the Essen Spiel. But first, we have to talk about this ubiquitous piece of gaming, the Meeple.
There's a lot of words in this.
Yes.
Tom's been reading.
I know.
Right?
I have no idea what most of these words are.
Did you get a book on tape or something?
You have a calendar? Word of the day.
All right. Anywho.
Ubiquitous.
So the Meeple, I don't want to get too into the weeds on this because it's all over the internet, but the Meeple is obviously best known for Carcassonne and was introduced in the game of Carcassonne.
Yes.
They were called followers. Somebody shortened it, my people, to Meeple in a blog or something, and they just started, over the internet, started getting called Meeples. And then Meeple became very popular.
Right.
People started using the word Meeple in the name of podcasts and board game companies and even board game names, to the point of sometimes where it's like we roll our eyes at it.
Right.
Because it's... Anyway, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes I roll my eyes, yes.
And the Jeeple and
Oh,
all the
yeah.
other nonsense. Anyhow, Meeple Inc. was a game on GameFound, a campaign, and I believe we talked about it. Mm-hmm. And they got they rebranded, their publisher was Cogito Ergo Meeple, but now they're called Tabletop Inc. The game is called Tabletop Inc., and the company is now called Cotswold Games because they got a cease and desist from Hans im Glück saying, hey, we own the copyright to Meeple, which they purchased a few years ago in Germany and possibly the EU. So anywho, some news sites have made a big deal about this. Hans im Glück is not backing down. I don't know what this means for publishers with the word Meeple in their title or games already. I mean, there's like 40 games with the word Meeple in.
Yeah, I don't know. The problem with that is as soon as they start defending it, they kind of have to defend it, don't they? Isn't that how that
Where
works?
do you stop?
Yeah, you have to keep going now.
Sometimes companies send out cease and desist letters, they fire them off, and then they don't follow up on it.
Sure.
You know, that happens. It's like a thing. You send it off, and you are protecting your copyright. Anyhow, I don't know what will happen here. I suspect that you'll just see fewer games with the word Meeple in the future.
I'd say some people just move on without trying to, like, okay, we'll use something different. I'm just wondering what the blowback for this is going to be, you know?
I don't think it will translate into anything, honestly, because what people going to stop buying Carcassonne and its ilk? I mean, that sells to the masses who don't really care about Meeple anyway.
No, you just wonder if it's going to come off as petty or if it's going to come off as protective. You know, it can go either way.
I don't know in that situation if I was Hans and Gluck what I would do. I mean, I might have defended it 15 years ago. Seems like an odd time to start now.
I must say, some of these trademark things are pretty funny. There was a guy in Canada, his name is Michael Rowe, he made a little software company, and he calls it Mike Rowe Soft. And he said, like, it took 4 days for lawyers to show up and be like, you can't do that. He's like, I figured. You know, he kind of knew. He's like, okay, I'm not really going to fight
That's
this one.
interesting, yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah, I don't know. It does seem, again, like you said, they've had the copyright in Germany to the word Meeple for a while, right? I don't
has
know.
been
I'm
a while?
assuming they did not
Yeah.
just get this paperwork pushed
I
through.
think it was a few years ago.
Okay, a few years. I've never heard of them issuing anybody else a cease and desist, and oh my
No.
goodness, all you got to do is kick a rock, and there's something named Meeple under there.
Well,
the
this
board
did
game
make
names
this
and all
did
that.
raise $230,000.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that was the difference, you know. My point being, if they do start defending it, you need to now defend it, or you are allowing the usage of it. That messes. I'm no lawyer, but I think if you don't defend it, it starts to become okay to use it. There's some.
Right.
There's some fair use stuff in
Gobbledygook
America.
there. Yeah.
I don't know how all of it works, and so we are not lawyers, so I
I
don't.
got my lawyer degree from altavista.com, so
ooh,
take from that what you will.
I'm dogpile.
Alrighty, let's talk about the Origins Awards. They were so the nominations came out 2 weeks ago, and then they were announced this week, or last week at Origins Game Fair.
The winners.
The winners were announced. I'm not going to go over the nominees, but I will say I applaud Origins for having fairly good nominations. We have criticized them in the past. Their 2023 nominations last year were a train wreck. And there have been years in the past where they're laughable, right? They've been doing this for a really long time. Anywho, this year they're better. They still had an expansion in one of the board game categories, which was weird.
Okay.
But anyhow, they don't have a best game of the year, by the way. They have just different categories. So best cooperative
Here
game,
we go. Okay.
Sky Team.
That's
Okay,
a good pick.
yeah,
That's
I
a
agree.
good pick.
Best gateway board game,
Yes.
Wandering Towers.
There it is.
That's a good pick.
Yeah,
Joey
just drop
loves
the
that
mic
pick.
now. Drop the mic.
Odd that are you actually using the word gateway? I thought we were trying to move away from that term as a whole.
Welcoming game.
Well,
They
they're
just
not going to
misspelled
use
it.
that.
No, okay, I will come after you if you use welcoming game.
Cease
My
and
cease and desist letters are ready to go. That's ours. That's our word.
Best light strategy game,
Strategy, you said? Do we have a
Light
No,
strategy.
Okay, we don't have that one.
Leaf.
Okay, that's a game.
It is.
Did you play that one?
No.
Great
That's
components.
fine.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
it depends. Remember, there's the
Oh,
nice
good
wooden
point.
ones.
If you get the
Yeah.
deluxe, it comes with actual leaves.
Best thematic board game, Freelancers, a Crossroads game.
That's a good pick.
Best heavy strategy, now this is a bad pick, Dune Imperium Uprising. And I would say it's a bad pick because that game already exists.
Oh.
It's Dune Imperium. It's almost the same game.
I don't know. It's a
With-
good pick, though.
Got
It's a
more
good.
worms.
It's better than them giving it to something that doesn't fit the category. That's good. I'm happy with it so far. What else they got?
Best party social board game, Smug Owls.
Yeah, here we go. See, this is what I was afraid of. What is this?
I don't know. I'll have it tomorrow. I need to know.
Well, you are the reason they keep giving out these awards. You reward these picks.
Best solo board game, Legacy of You.
Okay.
Best children and family board game, Diced Veggies.
I like that one.
Then there's a bunch of stuff we don't care about. You know, CCG RPGs. Best 2D artwork. This cracks me up every time that they call it that. They don't do best art and best minis. They do best 2D art and then best 3D
art.
component.
Okay, okay.
Anyway, best 2D art is Quanchi Mori's Empire's End art.
Okay.
And then the best media production, which we were not nominated for.
Why?
Well, I'll get to that in a second.
Man,
But
cease and desist.
But Elena's Making Board Games a CG documentary 8-part series. That was very well done.
Okay, cool.
She did a great job on that.
I have not seen that.
And
I
I'm
need
glad
to
that
watch
beat out the other nominees. I think it wasn't even close, right?
Yeah.
But, so just to note, to be in Origins, the awards, you have to submit your game, you have to send in a certain number of copies, or it's not even considered. So, like, Earth wasn't even on the nomination list.
Oh, wow.
Things like that. They also did a fan favorite game where the fans just voted for their favorite game or whatever at Origins.
From that year.
No, at Origins, and it was distilled. So, all right.
Cool. Okay.
So that's the Origins Awards. Like I said, not bad. Not bad. Definitely better than the dumpster fire it's been in the past.
Don't hold back.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's like...
All right, here we go. Game time.
Okay.
This is almost nothing. It's just a sneak peek at something from Parks. There's a new Parks thing coming. There's some artwork. That's all we know.
Parks?
Yeah, what does that mean? This doesn't look like the artwork for
That's
Parks.
not Parks.
That's new artwork. It's from Andrea Dumuta.
Wait, we're talking like Parks.
The board game
Keymaster.
Parks, yes. Yeah, I know. In the world of Parks. I'm like, that's our world. You can't keep taking parts of Earth and claiming them as your own
What do you
cinematic
mean?
universe.
Countries have been doing that for decades.
That broken ankle bear is bothering me, man. That's...
It healed wrong.
All right.
That's exactly wrong.
Let's move on.
Poor baby.
We got some space games here. Beyond Horizon. This one looks really cool.
Whoa, that board.
It was crowdfunded, but this is this is probably Joey's backed this game. This is a print and play.
Then I have backed it. If it was under $5.
You remember it?
Yeah. I remember hitting the back
It was
button.
crowdfunded in March. I don't remember talking about it, but anyway, it looks really cool though.
Looks really cool.
I really like how that board looks.
That is neat looking.
Print and play though, man. That's a lot of ink.
That board looks a little bit like La Isla.
Who's she?
All right. Beyond the Event Horizon, which is not based on the horrific movie
I like that.
that
too.
Sam Neill's in.
You Watch Your Mouth. That's a cult classic.
Have you seen it?
No.
Joe, you've never seen Event Horizon?
By the way, you're both talking about it. Now I need to see it because you
No.
don't think I should see it.
You
No.
like horror movies?
I like... It's horror or space?
Yeah, they go find a spaceship,
Horror.
and then it's
Okay?
like turns into.
The Event Horizon has been lost in space for 13 years. Okay? It was supposed to be a black hole tunneling ship, and it vanished, but it never reappeared. And 13 years later, we get a ping from deep space. So we're sending a ship out to go see what happened.
Wait, how recently
Where
have you
has
seen
the
this?
Event Horizon been all these
97.
years? It's great.
Do you really like it?
It's one of the best movies ever made.
You never can tell.
It's kind of like Hellraiser mixed with a space movie. I'm not kidding.
And it's Sam Neill?
Yeah.
That's enough said. I'm in.
Morpheus is in it.
Anyhow,
What?
this movie is not beyond about that. This is a 4X game. Unfortunately, from this picture and everything else, it's really hard to tell like what's different about this game. That looks like a cheap Twilight Imperium, and I gotta be careful because it might be amazing. I'm not trying to knock it, but you are going through a black hole in uncharted space, and then this was crowdfunded, and it's coming out first half of 2025. That's far enough away. Let's move on.
I love how the chat is all like, it's a good movie. And it's not so good. The whole chat is,
They're arguing back and
I
forth.
want my time back. Yeah.
Well, you know what I did? I saw it on TV, did not know it was a horror movie. I saw it and I was like, space! This is great!
This looks neat.
What is going on?
That person's eyes are missing. That's like definitely like, yeah. Supposedly there's like an unrated cut that exists out there that is like very, very hardcore.
Really?
It's already pretty like gnarly, yeah.
I will be watching that.
All right. AI, 100% human.
A while back, right?
This is a drafting game. This was crowdfunded in May, so it's coming out this
Okay.
November. So you are a human and you are playing an AI. You're playing 6 random AI cards. You have to
I
see
played this game. I played a prototype of this.
You have to be the person who best impersonates an AI.
I don't know what the theme is. The theme is...
Oh, you played this at West, right?
Yeah, no, yes?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I'm asking myself. No, I played this at Essen.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I like it a lot, actually. It's a great game. It's got, it's that positional thing. It's that idea of you play a card that has to, it's kind of like Reef. The card could be scored off of, but you're setting up future scoring opportunities. And I thought it did that thing really, really well, where you have to play a card, it goes into your pattern or whatever, and then you score like this row. Great, boom, I get some points from that. And so you've got the hand management, you've got the pattern building. It's not a looker because the whole card is informational, so there's no artwork on it. You know, the cards do look like that. And I do think, unfortunately, that title, especially with AI being a hot topic right now, is not going to do the game any favors.
Right.
It could have been pretty much about anything. It has that feeling of like,
themeless.
you know, yeah. But the gameplay, like the card manipulation and stuff, I thought was great. It's really, really a fun game. It's just, thematically, don't think about it too hard.
All right. Then we have Wednesday, Creatures and Outcasts. This is a game coming from MNKY Entertainment.
Okay.
2 to 6 players are playing cards. You're trying to get rid of your cards. It sounds like that game we just played recently, the Pig Pile, that one we played, not Coyote, the other one we played.
Oh, yeah, monkey something, yeah.
Hungry Monkey.
Hungry Monkey.
It sounds a little bit like
yeah.
that. It's interesting. I asked Mike why there was 2 covers. He didn't know why there was 2. I hope they used the bottom one.
I agree.
The bottom one, I mean, the top one isn't bad, actually, but that bottom one looks like a board game.
The bottom one is not going to get used if they can use the top one at all. There's no way. The top one looks like the show. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Why would they sacrifice that?
Yeah, you're right.
Montana, Kentucky is the company. I don't really know what the MNKY is.
It probably means something. All right. This next one I'm very interested in. It's Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
1%, a groovy game of strategic chance.
Back out.
Now, I'm not interested in the Evil Dead 2 part. I know a lot of people love that movie, but this is a new edition of a game called 1%, a game of strategic chance. Have you played it?
No, I read about it the other day. I don't know why I fell down this rabbit hole,
but
have you heard?
I went and looked at it. It sounds really interesting. So the way you win the game is you roll 100-sided dice, or 2 10s, and you need to get 100. So you have a 1% chance of winning.
Okay.
Or you try to increase your chances to win. It sounds like that The Wizard Always Wins game. That way back in the day. That one you had to pull a wizard from the bag.
Okay.
But you did different things to make your pulls better.
Got it.
It sounds really interesting, and it only has a few ratings, and it came out in 2022.
Okay.
But it has pretty high ratings. People said it was really fun. That concept intrigues me.
Yeah, I think it's a neat concept. I think that's why I kind of was checking it out, because it sounded interesting. From what I saw, it was basically 2 halves stitched together, and the one half is liar's dice. You get eliminated, until finally you're down to a single person, and then that person can either increase their odds by getting, I don't know, now I can hit 1s or 0s or 1s or 3s or whatever. Or you roll. You get a bonus roll. It sounded really slow. I read somebody's review on BGG, and they were like, it's so slow. The 2 halves don't have anything to do with one another. But I don't know. It's Evil Dead 2, so Joey's going to play it.
I am.
That's true, you are.
I am.
So this is, what's the company here? Iconic Studios. All right. That is coming.
Dead.
Oh, and Yellow's going to bring out a French version of this, so maybe they'll bring the English version too.
I like that top one. The look of that top one is cool.
Actually, the French version's already out. They said June 22nd. That was already.
That was like a week ago.
All right.
Get it.
In news that surprises no one, there's another zombie side coming based on the campy Army of the Dead movie that's the Zack Snyder movie, right, on Netflix.
This game has been kind of in like development limbo for a little bit,
Has
actually.
been.
Because this game got announced when the movie came out, around that time.
You're right, I remember that now.
And it's just sort of been, we don't know where. You know what I mean? It was supposed to come straight to retail. It was sort of lingering and waiting. We weren't sure what was happening. So I guess there's some development now.
What more
Is there a
details?
date?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
But did you get it?
there's a lot of mosquitoes around here today, folks. They got it in the house somehow. Anyhow, it doesn't say. It was announced in 2021. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hitting the retail market
Different
on
cover
July
back then.
19th.
Let's go. That's about a month.
Well,
If ever there was a movie that was made for zombie side, though, this
I
movie.
agree.
Not kidding, yes.
You said it's going to Kickstarter, or you
No,
said
no,
retail?
no.
Retail.
This was always coming out just straight up.
I wonder if there will
Wow.
be zombie tigers in it.
I believe there is a zombie
So,
tiger in it. Yes.
all right, this is a standalone. Looks like modern day 2.0 style, right?
Yes.
Probably. It's probably the same rules and
You
everything.
can read the rule book right now online. I'm pretty
I
sure.
hope they took some like Wild West stuff in there, some of the Old West
I
stuff. in
don't remember honestly, Joey. I know I
Have you
read
seen the
it and I
movie?
was aware
Yeah,
of it.
I like the movie.
It's not. I don't like
has a
zombie
tiger.
movies, and it was fine.
It had Batista with glasses.
It really did.
I was like, that's all I need.
All right. So speaking of zombies, Button Shy is in the zombie market. They had a game called Walking Dead Surrounded in May 2024.
Ooh.
And then there's an expansion coming out, Walking Dead Surrounded Under Siege, a 6-card expansion.
Joey knows about Under Siege.
I do. I do. Another great movie.
Great's a strong word.
Another one of
Strong
his movies.
word.
So there's this train that got lost 13 years
It's Under
ago.
Siege. It's Under Siege 2. All right.
He's a chef.
Which one's the first one? The ship one?
The ship. They take a
Oh,
battleship. That's the one with the Gary
Busey?
Busey just going totally insane in
They
the
weren't
movie.
expecting the cook.
Anyway, the next one here, Tree Society. This is coming from Next Move Games. It does not have a 4-letter title like their games have had in the past.
I know, right?
Azul Reef, I guess they kicked that out. Nice cover. This is from Matthew Dunson and Brett Gilbert, a combo you tend to like.
They do?
They actually, their last game, or one of their last games, was the Guild of Merchant Explorers, which just got nominated for the Kenner Spiel. Anyway, you are helping various guilds follow blueprints to make new buildings, take advantage of other players to sell your resources at the best price, and earn the favor of new guilds by skillfully combining their powers. It's coming in October, so Essen release.
Very pretty.
Then we have Enori. This is from Matteo, Albert, and Theo Rivera and Space Cowboys. So this is in Enori Valley. You're making offerings to the tree spirits, yada, yada, yada. You're trying to get favorite tokens. I don't know. It sounds very generic. But it looks cool. It's Space Cowboys, and they have a very high hit rate with me,
Yeah,
as
I
does
like their stuff.
Theo. I like his games, too.
Yeah,
So
Teo Riviere is a very...
Teo, that's what it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's a good designer. That game, I gotta tell you, just looking at the image, I am like not excited whatsoever for that game. But
Really? I love how that looks.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks...
It's colorful. I'm in.
Yeah. That looks like
pretty.
a place setting for a plate of food. I'm like, okay.
Now I'm hungry, and I want to play the game.
Anyway, no, I'm sure it'll be neat. They do good stuff.
This next game also looks interesting to me. It's called Fairy Ring. So Fairy Ring is a 2 to 4 player game coming from Repos. Lawrence Grenier and Fabian Tanguy are doing it, and you are magic coming back to the forest. You need to make a mushroom thing. It looks like you're growing the mushrooms with cards. I don't know what it is. That
like that.
mechanism always makes me happy when you use up to
Smaller
build a tower.
things.
I like that too.
I just like it. I mean,
Bad Company, Mushroom.
as I say,
Great.
Bad Company, it's so stupid in that game, and
So
yet it
great.
abuses me every single time.
I agree.
This looks like a light game. This looks like a spiel.
You're right.
spiel bait.
Oh my goodness, spiel bait. Just like we have Oscar bait for movies, there is spiel bait. This is one of them.
Yeah.
All right, Zoomies is a game coming out from Magnus Carlsen and Fireside Games.
Oh, my
jeez.
goodness.
Oh jeez.
So I looked up Zoomies.
husky.
I started to see this online more. Zoomies is that burst. It's like a dog when it has that burst of energy. A dog when
when
you're
You've never
suddenly.
heard of the Zoomies? That's really not a thing you knew about,
No, I wasn't.
Joey.
Yeah.
You knew about it.
When the puppy will just run and he'll just jump off the back of the couch and just do.
Yeah, they get like sort of like,
Just gotta get their zoomies out.
and they just go.
That's-
and you're like, and then all you need to do if they do stop, all you got to do is go, and they don't.
Yeah, they
like,
just. Well, your dogs are.
Yeah, but when you're like sitting on the couch
Yeah.
and you're reading a book and it happens, and sometimes it can scare the snot out of you. You're like,
Yeah,
"What's up?"
sure.
Here's the thing: your dogs are big. If they
That's
do the
the thing.
zoomies, you'll have to move.
No,
Yeah,
they
it's
run
like-
right up me,
Yeah, that's
like a ramp.
This is more of a little dog be allowed to do this
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, in this game, you're walking your pups at the park. I don't even know why it's called Zoomies, because you're walking dogs at the park.
They're walking you eventually, I guess.
Anyway, it's from Fireside, so a family-style game for
thing.
sure.
That greyhound neck is just fantastic. There's so much to unpack in that cover.
All right. We'll talk about covers. Look at this next one. Animal Rules Football. This is from Martin Wallace, and there's only one game in Animal Kingdom, and that is
football. It football?
Football, but it's a mix of soccer and rugby, which I think is football. I'm not sure. Oh, they play it on a cricket pitch, too.
Okay.
Anyway, there's 6 Australian animals, and they have their strengths and weaknesses. Here's the thing. It's probably a pretty good game because I think Martin Wallace excels at these medium weight style games.
Sure.
But it's just such a weird name and everything else.
Nah, man. Pass.
But look at
weird. It's just weird.
It looks like they're doing a tip-off in basketball, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a weird, hardcore kangaroo and some kind of rooster.
That's a werewolf, man.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
Kangaroo
And
leg.
it makes me uncomfortable, honestly.
What's the thing to his right? Is that a rooster? Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be. The animals are. That's probably a cockatoo. There's koalas, cockatoos,
right.
kangaroos. They're all dingoes.
Okay.
There's 6 animals, but they're all Australian animals.
Why?
Get my wife.
That's where he's from.
Because
they're
they're
from New Zealand, I think, actually. But
they're the most deadly. I guess.
This is weird.
all right, landmarks. This is a communication game which just showed up in the mail yesterday for us, actually.
Ooh,
It's a game of hidden paths and clever clues.
I like it.
So you're trying to give one-word clues to get people to follow the right connection. Sounds like party games that already exist, but I don't know. We'll have to give it a try and see. The front, that box front and box back, that's sort of what the box back looks like. I would not guess one from the other.
No.
Yeah.
From Floodgate Games.
That's a good cover, though. It will get people to pick it up, I think.
Yeah.
This is a Gen Con release, I believe.
That's
If
good.
Then, this is a cooperative game coming from Arcane Wonders and Scott Brady, who is definitely becoming the king of light games right now.
Yeah.
It's cooperative pattern solving. One person has a hint and will tell people whether their guesses are right or wrong. They're going to put a card from display and put it into things. So it sounds like Zendo with cards. Hints are based on the size, value, and or color of the number and background. Higher level cards have more complex hints. So it really sounds like a Zendo card game.
Interesting. Okay.
Asian Tigers, a story of prosperity. This is a new design from Nuno Bizarro Centiro and Paulo Soledad, and it's from Pythagoras.
That's a cool cover.
I like that cover a lot.
This almost looks like it would be in the smartphone line, kind of. Has that same kind of cover.
Yeah, it
but
does.
It isn't. But good job, Pythagoras. You went from
That
making
looks
some
good.
pretty bad covers to really swinging around in the covers.
Yeah, that's a stunning
Yeah.
looking game. Like, I want to pick that up. And
And you like a lot of their
Mountain.
games that came out last year, Pythagoras.
Yeah. So I'm
So
excited about that.
yeah, Asian Tigers have
good.
policies and blah 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 blah. Yeah, it looks really interesting.
Yeah. Wow, that's nice.
Moving Day. This is a cute little game from Piatnik
Moving
and
Day.
Mads Flo, the designer. It's Moving Day in Quebec, Canada. And July 1st is Moving Day. It says it's no joke as more than 100,000 people move on this day. Starting in the 1700s, by law, all leases would expire on the same day. Is this like a thing?
that's
Really?
a thing. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Wow.
Still?
Yeah. I thought they called it Boxing Day.
Well, Boxing Day is the day after Christmas.
Okay, well then Moving Day, yes. But no, I've heard of this. It's a
Mike
real
Tyson and
thing.
Jake Paul
That
fight,
sounds-
I think.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah,
like
it's a
I'd be
real
like,
thing.
I sure hope I'm sick that day.
There's several games.
I know. Yeah. That's.
There's several games already based on this idea of like it's always Canada. That's how I knew it was a Canadian thing, because the games that have this theme of like everyone's moving, that's always the setting's always Canada. So it's like, oh, that's a real thing in Canada.
Yeah, that's the worst time to have a truck during this time.
I want to hear.
We gotta have some Canadians in the chat.
Like, is this a terrible day in Canada?
It's gotta be. Great day for U-Haul though.
Yeah, because you'd be like, hey, you want to help me move? Like, well, Bob already asked me. He's going to give me pizza
Yeah.
afterward. What do
would
you
you
do?
Keep raising your price.
Go around and...
Yeah. That's crazy.
All right, anyway, the game looks interesting. It looks like a light game. You're just trying to stack cards in your truck.
Okay, like stack of stuff, I guess.
Vegas Showdown is being reprinted from Renegade. This is... I need to figure out what's going on here. I saw some pictures of this. This came out from Mayfair Games back in the... No. Sorry, I'm mixing it up with Vegas. Vegas Showdown is different than I'm thinking of the Mike Slinker game. I'm mixing it up. Sorry. Vegas Showdown is a game I like a ton. That cover is weird. I just want to know one answer. Is there paper mats in it?
I
Or are
assume
they
that they're no
boards?
longer paper. I'd have to assume they're no longer paper. It's the one thing everyone complained about.
It says it has brand new artwork and graphic design upgrades with
Which
the
I
same
don't-
great gameplay.
The artwork and graphic design, yeah, maybe the graphic design is good. It was already good, but this artwork I'm not so sure about. Also, the game's not about gambling in a casino. This is a misleading cover. You want a cover that tells you a little bit about what you're likely doing in that game, right?
Slightly, there's blueprints in the background.
It looks like, no, that looks like somebody's planning a theft.
Does the
Oh, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
The game's about building out Vegas, building a casino and putting restaurants in it and putting the slot machines over here. And it's not about
Okay.
this.
I will say, I've not played this. Did not get that from the cover. That is
That's
very
what I'm
You've
true.
never played this?
saying.
No.
You've got to play Vegas Showdown. It's a great game.
You have to, you animal.
You must.
I thought I had, but apparently I have not because the one I played was a betting game.
All right, and then finally, Mike wrote Lorcana. Lorcana, there's more Lorcana coming here.
Oh.
This is Shimmering Skies. I believe this is the fifth set? Yeah, the fifth set here. Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah,
Where?
man, we have finally defeated Ursula's return. And now Lorcana is dealing with the ramifications of what she tried to do.
That sounds like Z made that up, but that's actually correct.
That is not Wreck-It Ralph. That is Maui, by the way.
No, Wreck-It Ralph is in it now. Wreck-It Ralph,
Okay, fine.
the little girl, and then the bad guy from Wreck-It Ralph.
This is debuting August
the
9th.
face.
Mass market August 23rd. How much you want to bet it's at Gen Con?
Well, they also have a new...
Let's go. Oh, no.
Lorcana's also coming out with a new thing. They every now and then they come up with one new, like, I don't know, not product line, but like one new item. And the new thing is a learn to play.
Is it
They
really?
have like a starter thing.
I saw that. You're
Yeah.
right.
Like a starter
A
deck type thing?
two-player.
It's like a starter, like learn to play for two people kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, it's maybe they're worried at this point if somebody tried to get into it, they wouldn't know where to jump in. And if so, then yes, a learn to play box. Buy this, learn to play from it. It really holds your hand, you know. That might be a good idea.
Huh.
I wonder how well it's doing. I was at Disney Springs a month or so ago,
They out?
and at the Disney store they were selling this, and there was a sign, limit one box per customer, and I was like, wow, even here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I know people still stand in line. I know one person still stands in line.
Well, they're standing in line with other people, so
Their
obviously
mother.
people are standing
Yeah,
in
but he
line.
doesn't know them.
None of this matters. You know, next week, the new Star Wars set comes out.
I'm excited about that.
Yes, I've already pre-ordered it. Yay.
I'm excited playing your
Is
copy.
that the third or second?
Second. But it's Mandalorian. The two starter decks Mandalorian. It's great.
Mando?
Grogu.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Okay, that is the news. All right. Well, top three today. A few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, we did our top 10 initial episodes from
Like premieres,
TV shows,
yeah.
premieres.
Top 3.
So now we're doing finales, our top 10 series finales. A couple things here. First of all, spoilers. Okay?
So we are spoiling. Or we're trying
It's hard to
be
not talk about it. There's going to be at least slight spoilers,
Okay.
right?
I'll try to keep them slight.
We'll just assume they're spoilers, okay?
I'm not. I think I've only ever finished 2 shows ever, and I wasn't putting House on it because it sucked. The finale did. So you're getting like
agree.
season finales on here.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, you're getting
Okay.
season? Okay.
That's all I got. I'm sorry. That's
That could
all
have
I
been
got.
much better, by the way.
No, you shut up. Oh, you're complimenting me. Okay, no, that's
because
fine. Yes.
this was harder than I thought it was going to be because
I don't know how shows ended. I've never seen them.
But doing worst would be so much easier. I could do 20 worst.
Well, no, there's a lot of good ones out there. Also, I deliberately excluded, again, miniseries from this. We'll do a top miniseries at some
I
point.
agree.
Because like people are like, oh, Band of Brothers was a great finale. Well, yes, there was also
Yeah.
6 episodes.
I haven't watched
Or
it yet, by the
7.
way. It's on my to-watch list. I
So here's what
know.
happens, right? So is this
know
band of
history.
guys?
We won.
Okay. Okay. I do know
Who
the
starts?
story.
All right, here we go.
Who's first?
Who's first?
You are.
I'm first. All right, this one is actually one of my favorite shows. Actually, we named our daughter from this show, which people named Juliet. They just assume Romeo and Juliet, and I've never thought of that once in my life, by the
Wait,
way.
Juliet's from a show.
She is from a show.
Is it?
Not Romeo and Juliet, which people think. They think
Well,
they're
you
very
already
more
said that.
cultured.
Is it Shakespeare?
Nomeo. Juliet.
Oh my goodness, that was horrible. That's the worst movie ever. No, this is the last episode of Psych.
Oh, it ended? Good.
I loved this. It did end. It had to come some movies afterwards. This one was great because at the end it gave you what you wanted. The main people got married, and at the end Sean plays this fake psychic the whole time. And at the end,
Spoiler.
the other
They spoiled that in the first 20
yes.
minutes of the show.
Lassiter just tries to figure him out the whole time, trying to prove he's a fake, and at the end he sends these DVDs to everybody and videos to let people know, and he is going to let him know whether or not he's fake, and Lassiter's reaction is just perfect. And they end it with a kind of a Easter egg that points to he moved to an area where Monk is. So they kind of brought another USA show in that I liked at the very end. So it had to end. It still has movies, but I loved. This was just a
So
very.
has movies, you said?
There are like 3 movies afterwards that Peacock did on Psych movies, which were great. So this is a great show. This is like the most rewatchable show. So this was.
I've never seen it in my life.
Oh,
hate
you
it.
would love it.
I
You
hate
should
it.
love it. I don't know why you don't
Because
like
the
it.
main character's so smug.
But it's so good. Okay,
Is it
you
like
both.
the Mentalist smug? Or?
No, he's
It's-
not that smug.
You both would love it. I don't know what. Yeah, you.
Why do you
guys
keep
would.
telling me I would love it when I clearly have seen the show and I
You've
hate
seen
it?
one. It's really
No,
good.
I watched it. My wife likes it.
See, then Laura
So
would like
smug.
it. You would love it.
No, I'm smug
It
about
was-
not liking it.
All right,
Great
what's your
show.
number 3?
Is it me?
Yeah.
My number 3 is a show on Amazon.
Amazon.
And I say it like the Brits, baby. And this is a show called Carnival Row. I know they have a second season. I haven't seen it yet. Shut up. I don't watch a lot of. Shut up, TV, internet. Carnival Row is very good, and it was emotionally impactful, well made, and engaging. I really, really liked it.
Sounds like you're reading a script. Is that how they deliver the lines in this?
No, it's very good, and it's Orlando Bloom, which was
That's
nice
why I
to
wanna
see
watch
him.
it. Yeah.
If you haven't seen this, you gotta.
I want to.
It's fantasy, but like this basically feels like late 1800s, grimy sort of streets of London vibe
Okay.
meets fantasy creatures. There are satyrs and there are fairies and there are all sorts of things. And he's a detective, like a Sherlock Holmes type,
I would like this.
exploring this world and investigating and whatnot. It is really good. I like it a lot.
I've been wanting. This is on my to-watch, but I want to wait till it's over.
I don't know. It might be. I
Wait,
don't know.
cliffhanger ending or just a good ending?
It's not a cliffhanger ending,
Okay.
I thought. No, it's a good ending.
Okay, good.
All right.
All right, my number 3
Go ahead.
is, well, it's going to be a crossover with Z anyway, so we'll get back to it when he comes back. Because I have to use my logic and deduction if Z was
Oh,
in
it's
it or
going
not.
to do this?
Number 3 is Parks and Rec.
Oh.
Now,
Ooh.
now you might wonder why it's the finale is fantastic. The reason I put it as 3 is because the whole season was a finale. The final season of Parks and Rec was a finale overall.
can't
I
remember
really
what
like
happened
the
at the end
Parks
of
and
this.
Recreation. So they jump into the future and show you all of them in the future and kind of how they got there. And it's really ridiculous. It's really over the top. And
You're right.
It would be my number 1, but like I said, the whole season was a finale.
Parks and Rec.
I agree. They do it better than I think New Girl tried something similar, though, jumping forward. I like the way they did it better.
They did it in such, Jerry's ending is my favorite, I think, of all of them. But it's fun. There's a lot of shows, I'm a big fan of shows where you like the people in them.
Right.
As opposed to like House or Psych, where I hate everybody.
God,
Parks and Recreation, I like all these characters, except for Tom. Tom is kind of a twerp. Go figure. Actually, Tom's friend's worse.
So, are we still with the show?
Yes, that's
All right. I just started to get personal.
Tom's
I
friend.
know, he keeps pointing at you and this
One does. I really like the future. They jump in the future, and their future is like, maybe we don't care, you know. And they did a bunch of future stuff in this season as a whole, right? They jumped a few years into the season, into the thing a few episodes earlier, I think.
It felt very much like they knew they were done, so it was a celebratory season, and they were like, look at this person who we showed in a couple of episodes in the future.
Right.
And this guy did much better than you would have expected. This person did much worse than you would have expected.
And they definitely did call-outs to they had, like, not just the characters you see in this picture, but all their little weird side characters. They showed them in the future. They gave a lot of them send-offs, which was really nice. So that's my number 3.
Yeah. All right, so my number 2 is pretty much, for me, this is like a feel-good show for me. This is a great embodiment of a good ending that doesn't give finality, but it gives you the idea that it's going to continue. And this is the last episode of The Next Generation, Star Trek. I grew up with Star Trek, and I love the
Who
final.
was that?
I had to get this from the last episode, where he jumps through time. You go to the past, you go to the pilot, you go to the present, and then you go to the future when he's like retired at his vineyard or whatever, which you knew he was going to do. They always talk about it in the show. And
But then he had 3 more seasons.
He did, yeah. You didn't see that coming, by the way. But it's interesting that at the very end, it ends at a poker game that is just the way that brings everything together. They always had the poker game where he was never involved because he was the captain and all this. And him sitting there to play poker with him was kind of symbolic in the fact that, you know what, he is now, it's a family type thing as they continue that journey. And it was a feel good. It also gave you, like, you were wondering if like people were going to get together in the future. So it gave you that blink of the future, but then brought you back. So there's still the question, is that the future is going to happen? So I think the way they did it was perfect.
And it was not. Because, again, I saw part of the future.
No, yeah, that's not.
Okay.
And it's as opposed to like Enterprise, which went a whole different direction and all that. But this was, I think, one of the best series out there. Finales.
What's this one called? I don't know my
All
Star
good
Trek
things. Next Generation. Star Trek TNG, The Next Generation. And the last episode was called All Good Things.
The Next Generation.
That was Picard, Data, Worf. That was really the one to watch.
You were a young child. You would
this
not
the
have
one to
watched
watch?
it.
This is dude, skip the first 5 or 6 episodes, maybe the first season.
It's a tough first season.
I've seen a little bit of several of them, I feel like, but I honestly can't tell them apart.
Really.
I just don't. I'm not a big Star Trek person.
This
But
is probably the best one, I think.
I've saw the one
Forgetting
where
the
they
first
like
season.
just on like a space station for a while. And
Oh,
then,
That's
DS9.
DS9.
Yeah.
okay.
I
yeah.
agree. This is probably my favorite of all the Star Treks. But
I like
also,
this
we
one.
grew up during this one, so you got to
Right.
take that into
So-
account.
Came out what, the 90s when
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of nostalgia with this one, I understand, but yeah, but it just, it holds up for me. Barring the first season, obviously.
I think I know your top 2, but let's see.
What do you think my number 2 is? There's no way. Again, it's not a show I've finished. I haven't really finished any, I finished 2. As far as I can tell. And like I said, one of them was House. And House, I thought, had a terrible
No, you finished IT Crowd. You finished...
IT Crowd, it's
You
like...
finished Parks
You
and
finished
Recreation.
IT
years
Crowd?
out.
Oh, I gotta finish
IT
that.
Crowd is like the British shows that they're kind of like, can we scrounge together a budget for one more show? Let's do one more. It doesn't feel like an ending.
No, I
It
can't
just feels
imagine
like,
that.
they kind of ran out of money.
All right, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is one from Apple TV, and it is called See. S-E-E.
As I say, the letter after B.
It is sci-fi, and they have actually, again, no spoilers, shut up about it. I've seen one.
Is that Jason Momoa?
That's Jason Momoa, baby.
Ah.
It's a futuristic show in which, in the future, everyone is blind.
Okay.
So it's like a post-apocalyptic thing. People live in tribes, basically. Everyone is blind. And there is a woman in his tribe. This happens episode 1, so calm down. There's a woman in his tribe. He is the warlord leader of, I don't know, who gives birth to twins, and they see. They don't know that, you know what I mean? Because they can't see them, but the kids can see, and then they grow up seeing. And there's a lot more to it, but it is really, really interesting. It's just very well made. It feels like it has that feeling of like an HBO type show, you know? A little gritty, a little grimy, high production values, interesting setting, an interesting world, the mythology and the build of the whole thing. If you guys haven't seen this, you should check it out at least.
I don't like the premise. I watched the first episode and I was like, I just didn't like the premise.
Really?
I also didn't like the one where people lost their hearing too, the Sandra Bullock one where everyone couldn't hear that movie.
No, that's you're thinking of Bird Box.
Yeah, but they deliberately.
No, it was Seeing.
Seeing?
They wear blindfolds because there's some creature or alien invasion, and what they do is if you see it, it drives you insane. And that's it. So people were like not looking or whatever.
Oh, okay, so there isn't one with... Well, hearing is that...
No, you're talking about Quiet Place or
Quiet
whatever?
Place. Let's make one where no one can taste. We're taking senses away. In the future, nobody can taste anything. Like, I make tacos for dinner. Like, all right, I don't care.
In the future, no one has taste. And there's a guy wearing like a bad hat, and they're like, that's awful taste. Don't wear that.
All right.
I like this.
All right, my number 2 is a show that's like a comfort viewing for me type of thing. I've watched the whole series multiple times, and a lot of people like the way that it ends in season 4, but I like the ending of season 7. This is The West Wing.
Oh, got it.
Oh, okay.
The West
real
Wing
ending was season 7.
No. The guy who wrote it left at the end of season 4. He also left like this insane cliffhanger for the guy after him. The president's daughter's kidnapped.
Yeah.
He has to step down from being the president because he doesn't want to make a decision
You're
about
relieved,
it.
Mr. President.
Yeah. So he comes in. You're relieved, Mr.
Goodman.
President. They're like dun dun dun, and also here, new writer, deal with that. And he left.
Got it.
This show gave us the walk and talks.
It really did. But you know what? The final show, the final season I like a lot because it shows 2 presidential candidates who you like both of them.
Right.
Which is, it's a fantasy world. Anyway, so you, and they have
Everyone's blind.
they have an election. But I liked the finale of it. It was the swearing in of the person who won the presidency and the leaving of Jed Bartlett from being president. And it was a nice thing. I thought it had a nice ending. I just enjoyed it a lot. So that's my number 2.
Yeah, they got Alan Alda and I forget the other guy's name, but yeah.
Oh, Jimmy Smits.
Jimmy Smits, that's who it was.
Yeah, he's right there. I like Jimmy Smits, man. It's a good cast.
It is.
I've never seen it.
Any of them?
I don't know. I don't think I would be interested in a political show. I'll watch a political movie every now and then, but an ongoing series, that's too much.
I don't know if you would like it. I mean, it's definitely very political.
Yeah, it doesn't get overly, I don't know. It's more, they try to do generic politics as much as possible.
I get it. It's just like,
Yeah.
But the acting is like, it's like they went and found the best actors.
Oh, Martin Sheen is great.
Yeah, they're all good. I don't think there's a bad actor in the bunch.
No, and Dulé Hill right there for the mailroom. Do you know where he's in later? Psych. That's right. This was his whole precursor.
That's when his career went down.
It's like, man. All right. Okay, so my number 1 is one that the final episode of this, it's funny, it's not Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad went like full bloody, just war at the end. And a lot of them, when they go that way, they want to just make this ending just like overly bloody.
Okay.
This one was bloody throughout the series, but at the end, didn't have that. It had some conclusion that you didn't see coming. And this is a series that was enthralled me, and this is The Americans. The ending of this.
Sophie's Choice.
But it was interesting to hear.
What's this?
These are two people who live in America in the 80s, and you find out, and they're Russian spies. So they have a fake marriage, sort of.
Yes.
They have real kids. Like they live together, they have kids and everything.
They're
And
sleepers.
They're sleeping agents, and they live next door to an FBI agent. And they go around and do it shows them going around and doing spy stuff at night, but during the day, then they live like normal human beings, and how that works out. And their kids, the teenage daughter, they eventually find out they're spies. I think their son does too.
They
at the very, very end.
Because I think they're planted in the 60s in the Cold War to be activated later now in the 80s.
Okay.
So it's just interesting. And then the FBI agent, his decision on, because he's gotten to know them on a personal level, and then he finds out all this. Then their kids, they decide, I don't know how much I was spoiled, but anyway, so their kids have to decide what their future is. They're going to go Russia, America, and all this. And it's just all of that comes together in a non-bloody finale way that really gives you...
Yeah, but it
feels... I enjoyed the
I
ending.
don't like it, actually.
Really?
Well, because it didn't leave me happy.
Oh, okay. He wants a happy ending.
Because
I say that with my number one coming up.
didn't
Sorry,
turn.
but no, you're right. It's good.
It's a
How
good
many seasons
ending.
of this are there?
There's
4?
not that many. That's the good thing. It's not like a 9. I think it's like 4 or 5. I think
All right.
it's watchable. And it was FX, I think, which is one company that I never thought would do a great series, but I think it worked out well.
Okay.
They do good special effects.
So, is your Sopranos? You're going to say Sopranos, aren't you?
No, go ahead.
What did you think my number 1 and 2 were going to be?
Well, I thought Futurama would be one.
Again, I don't know when it ends.
Is it over?
I think so. It gets revived every few years, and then they stick a movie in the middle, and then it starts again.
And then I thought Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec is my number 1.
Yeah, because I know
Okay.
you
For
love that
everything
show.
you said. Yeah, like I said, it's one of the few shows I've finished, and I really, really like the ending. I thought they did a knockout job with... That's the difference. When you know something is done, and they're like, hey, it's your last season. We will not be renewing it. You have all the time, take the time to wrap it up. That's the best way to do that.
Yeah, I knew your number 1 was Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like it. You said the future thing. I never suspected that company coming in and giving everybody free internet or whatever, which was a throwaway gag,
Yeah.
became like the crux of
Yeah.
the final season, They're in this all the future gags and stuff are really, really good.
Rob
Yeah, I
Lowe
really
gets some
enjoy
love.
it. And they
Actually, Rob Lowe, well, I said I liked everyone in West Wing. He's probably one of my least favorite in West Wing, but he's amazing in Parks and Recreation.
I agree. And West Wing
he's
is-
literally the best actor in the show.
West Wing is supposed to be about him. But then, yeah, he was great in this.
yeah.
Everyone
good.
is great. Again, and the great cast. Everyone is great in this.
Yeah, but this is definitely not a show where we would pick for best opener. Like their first.
No.
My
it was
wife
a
quit
really-
watching after the first 2 episodes, and I
No,
can't get
yeah.
her to watch it.
It's a bad.
Almost first season.
Yeah, it's a few episodes, and then they kind of found it. But the pilot is pretty bad.
They're trying to make it like The Office.
It's almost it's that blueprint a little too closely.
Yeah. All right. My number 1 is also dark and depressing, so I don't know why I was getting on Joey's case.
Oh, no.
But man, this one stuck with me for years. I think about the ending of this one, and this is The Shield. So The Shield, that guy there, Vic Mackey.
Really?
He works for the police department, and he has what's called a strike force. There's 4 guys, and they go deal with stuff. They're
Okay.
but they are crooked people. They're crooked cops, and every episode they do worse and worse things, and they somehow get out of it. They somehow squeeze out of it, and it catches up with them in that final season. And that final episode is just, woof. I mean, I'm happy with how it ended up because I don't like see crime pay, but they ruin
So
lives.
they're bad.
He's bad. There's good. He works in the police department, and there's a lot of good cops in that police department. But him and his 3 guys who work with him, they are crooked. They're crooked cops.
Oh, I thought I've never seen this show. I thought that they were like the good guys.
They are not.
Flashpoint, but
They
it's
are not the good guys. I mean,
Okay.
they do good things. Like he'll take down criminals. Like they'll go bust up a cocaine thing. Yay! Then
But
they
then
skim off
steal
the
all
top.
the cocaine
Yeah.
Okay.
and give it to neighbor.
So he justifies in his head that he's taking really bad criminals off the street.
Right.
And so he's kind of justifying that. But yeah, it's a tough one. And him and Walter Goggins, who's his like number 2 in that little story, of course.
I like Walter Goggins.
Walter Goggins is really good in this part, but man, he does not have a good finale at all. Neither one of these two have a good finale.
They're the two they take down Breaking Bad guy, right? No, I'm mixing my shows.
Yeah, but I actually had.
He looks like the guy from Breaking Bad a lot, doesn't he? Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, he was in a show 10 years prior to this called The Commish, where he was a very likable, lovable police commissioner, and then he plays this, and he's like, nah.
And then he played The Thing.
He did.
We don't talk about this.
So good.
Yeah, there was a lot on my short list. I considered Breaking Bad. I considered Malcolm in the Middle, because I really liked the ending of that.
Okay. I had Sopranos on mine just because we're still talking about it.
No, I hate
it.
That's a dumb ending.
I'll tell you, they mentioned Chuck. I hated the Chuck ending. I loved the series.
I didn't dislike the Chuck ending, but I didn't think it was great.
I haven't seen pretty much all the shows you guys are talking about.
Really? Well,
I looked it up, too. I had to Google. I'm like, best endings. And people were like, The Shield, 6 Feet Under. I'm like, I've never seen it.
I watched part of that.
Every show. I'm just like, every show. I don't know anything about any of these. I've never seen any of them. I never saw Sopranos. I never saw Lost. I never saw...
Oh, great.
What's the other one that gets mentioned a lot?
Well, we're not mentioning the Lost series finale.
No,
that's not
really.
my best endings.
No, I agree.
I heard that was bad. Yeah, I don't know. I figured I could watch it from the end to the beginning. Is that okay? Like final episode and then backwards?
It might work.
Yeah. I will say all the Star Trek, I like the endings. I like the Voyager ending. I like the DS9 ending. You know what? I like Stargate Atlantis ending.
All right. Well, let us know yours in the comments, folks. But let's keep going.
This is a segment where we take a look at a board game based on an IP, and I tell you if the IP and the mechanisms match. Today we're looking at Groundhog Day. On a turn, you take the cards from your hand and you'll try to place them down. You're going to end up playing up to 7 cards, but they don't have to be in order. They just have to get larger as it goes on. And this is what you would have. This might not be an optimal play, but this is how you would play. Then you would count up the number of hearts. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You're going to put the number 13 out, just showing how many hearts you had. It's a really bad first play. Right here, this one says unlock, play in the band, the 11. So this would go into the deck. All of the cards that were not played last turn go back in the deck. You shuffle them up. You move him around. And this time, instead of dealing out 24 cards, you're going to deal out 22 cards. Then you do the same thing again. You're going to be playing cards out. These cards don't go back in the deck. And you'll be playing cards out, hoping that you're able to amass a larger number. And then you count up the numbers. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then you would put the 18 out. If this number wasn't higher than a 13, then you would lose the game and have to restart it over. In order to win the game, you have to play 7 cards with 4 hearts on each card. Now, Groundhog Day is a popular Bill Murray movie, and the only one I know based on the holiday, maybe there's another one, but in this one, the character would relive the same day until he got it right, or perfect, if you will, in order to put the universe in balance, I suppose, or whatever. The game takes that directly. You're going to play every round of the game, and you're playing cards down. That is his day, and every day you have to make it better until you get the required best or better spot where you get enough hearts or points in order to win it. It really does feel like that you're going through the movie in a simplistic card game. This one was one I thought was a lot better than what I expected it to be. I expected this to be a cash-in, but Funko knocks it out of the park here. And it's one game I can tell you, if you want to play a game on Groundhog Day, this is the game to play. Surprised me. Nice little cooperative game, and the IP and the mechanisms match. Great job.
Every time that gets me. All right, real quick review today. Here we have Tri-Hex trays. These are for board game components. And they come with these little alternate... They come with I couldn't get the square in as a kid in that little device. These little... There's one for each of us.
One for each of you.
Oh, thank you. I can keep it.
So these come in, and what they have, you can see there's a grid here on top of them so that you can see the components that are in them.
Okay.
So that way you can keep them that way in the box, and then you pop this out, and then you can use it as a component bowl. As a component bowl, it's actually very nice. The triangle has those corners to pull stuff out of. I also like I don't like containers that you don't know what's in them.
Sure.
As dumb as that is, you're going to open up all the containers in the game anyway, I think. But I just like that. What I don't love about these is, well, they're triangles, which makes them harder to put in boxes.
And I'm not sure what you're gaining from them being triangles. You know what I mean?
I think it's because you have these corners to scoop things out of. That is easy.
Square has 4 of those.
Yeah, but they're not as sharply defined as this.
I just don't know. It wastes space inside whatever it is in. It's also very clearly 3D printed, these are. And you can tell. You can see it. It's not... It's good 3D printing. It's not the best 3D printing I've ever seen. It does not have that feeling of, oh wow, this is 3D printed. You know it is.
Yeah, they're okay.
What do you think about these lids? The way they go on and off. Do they feel like they might break on you?
They feel like they'll break. They don't feel like they'll come off in the box, but they feel like they'll break eventually. But
it is
go
tough
on
because of the lattice effect. They snap on. They're not coming off. They're not popping off.
That's
No, I
the
think
thing.
you're
That
right.
surprises me, but.
And there's a little room right here on the edge that you can
get your
get under
fingernail.
it and pop it off. Yeah.
A little
You might have to
flexible.
be a little bit ginger with it, but they're sturdy.
Yeah.
What am I going to keep in this?
Yeah, my main thing is I wouldn't use these just because the main difference is the squares. You know, the ones that because I like how they fit in boxes.
I agree.
But yeah, I know some people talk about plastic bags versus these, but I like containers way over plastic bags because I like using them during the game. Piles of components on the table is messy. Containers hold everything. It's really nice. Yeah. Someone's like, I need 4 of these. You can just hand them the container. They take what they need.
Right.
You could make a square with those slanted corners. I think you could. Ian says that in the chat, but I think then they still wouldn't fit in the box very well.
Yeah, I wonder if they thought you could fit more in there if they went, I don't know, yeah.
Nah, I don't know. So, who knows? That's it, folks. We're going to be back in 4 hours with our top 10 games that start with the letter A. Why? No.
A.
Good. You made the joke now. You can't make it then.
Okay.
So, we will see you then. Until next time, I'm Tom Basil.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Joey Evans.
Have fun gaming. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Basil.